There are two parashot in the Torah where Hashem tells us specifically what will happen if we violate Shabbat, if we waste seed, if we don't eat kosher, if we're not modest and we wear skirts that are mini skirts instead of long skirts, if we start creating our own religion and our own rules, if we become reform. Told us exactly what's going to happen to us. Maybe not right away, but eventually. Where did he say it? He said in two parashot. One is Parashat Bechukotai, and the other one is Parashat Ki Tavo. In Parashat Bechukotai, there's the first 10 verses are blessings of good things that will happen if we do mitzvot. But they're all vague, meaning that they're open to interpretation. One blessing could mean 500 different rewards. And you have many, many blessings. But in the next 40 verses, we have only curses, punishments. And each punishment is worse than the other. And he gives us 5 levels of punishments. And every time he starts a new level, he always says, V'im alachtem imi bekeri. And if you went with me with casualness, meaning if you treated my mitzvot, my Torah, my rules, my instructions, you treat it like it's casual. I could keep it, not keep it. Hashem knows. Hashem understands me. He understands I need to watch TV on Shabbat. He understands I have to marry a non-Jew. He understands this is who I love. He understands me. When I get up there, he knows already. You start treating things like this. He says, then for that, you'll get 2 punishments. One for the sin itself, and one for treating me like one of your friends from the bar. Casually. Hi, hi, bye, bye. Like I'm one of your buddies. Now all of what I'm going to read to you, it's actually in the Torah. You've probably heard it before. But most of Am Yisrael doesn't know it exists. Why? Because most of us hear it in the Bet Knesset, but we don't really understand what it means. Most of us don't speak the holy language. Even if we speak Hebrew, modern Hebrew is not necessarily the holy language. It's a little different. You can only understand it if you learn Torah. If you understand the grammar and the nikud, and in general how to read the Hebrew language in its purest form. So that's why I always recommend, and it's actually halacha for anyone that's wants to be righteous with Hashem, to read the parasha 3 times each week. 2 basic and 1 with commentary. But when you read it with basic, you also have to read, so you don't just read the words and make sounds. Monkeys also make sounds, and parrots also make sounds. Hashem didn't want to create a world full of monkeys and parrots. He created human beings because the human beings can choose between good and bad. So he wanted you to read it in a language you understand. If it's Russian, read it in Russian. If it's Hebrew, then read it in modern Hebrew. If it's in English, then read it in English. Whatever language that you understand exactly what it means. Because once you understand the Torah and exactly what it means, every parasha becomes different, and your world changes completely. Because as soon as you actually read what this one parasha I'm about to read to you says, your opinion about Hashem will change a little bit. For sure, you're not going to think that He's the guy that jokes around.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.